Hey everyone, it's Sleepy Reader, aka Damien, and this video is gonna do a little double duty, both a call for questions for another video and a little bit of a haul and an A-OK. So for starters, this coming Tuesday, today is Saturday as I record, is going to be my 8th anniversary on YouTube. And I don't know if that's much of an accomplishment because I've just been throwing out videos there in the raw all this time. But it is kind of a shock to me that I've lasted this long and perhaps of interest to some people. So if you have any questions for me about my life on YouTube, my comic book life, or other things that you're curious about, feel free to leave me questions in the answers. Questions in the comments down below or on Twitter at SleepyReader666, and I will try to incorporate as many questions as I can into a video. And if you have questions for my daughter, Quacking Duck, she wouldn't mind answering a few questions. So you may also leave those there. It may be, as it's often been in the past, I haven't done it in a few years, a Q&A, but often I get enough questions to do more than one video. But I will try to post at least a big video on Tuesday celebrating the fact that I have endured and pondering why I have endured. So that'll be cool. Maybe I'll do it as a live Q&A. I haven't decided. Amongst other things on all my... Why do I have my headphones on? I don't know. Amongst all the other things I've done on YouTube, I am still kind of ambivalent about live videos. Anyway, with that out of the way, apparently I won a contest, although I think it's more an act of kindness, from Tigerfist Comics, I think is the name of his channel. He also goes by Stango Tigerfist, and he sells a few very cool t-shirts. So I'll link below his channel and his I think his Amazon store link where you can buy the t-shirts for a pretty good price. They're this quite good quality. You may have seen my sometimes me wearing a shirt that says Floppies Forever, and that's also his t-shirt that you can get from his web store. And I highly recommend his channel for people who like to talk about older comics and nostalgia and collecting habits and thoughts about comics, because he definitely has a lot of interesting thoughts that you may or may not agree with, but they're definitely interesting. So he told me that I'd won a contest, and apparently I accidentally entered. No offense to all the contests out there, but I long ago decided I didn't really want to do contests anymore for a number of reasons. One, I won a couple and got like large piles of comics I didn't really ever get around to reading from those winnings. It was fun to enter at first when, again, that's kind of the 8-year thing here. It was fun to enter contests at first, and then it felt kind of fraught. And I've entered a few contests over the years for special reasons. But generally, I don't want to play favorites. I can't enter all the contests. There's a whole channel, Metarog, that does a weekly video on all the contests coming up. I love hearing Metarog talk about comics and his knowledge of obscurities and other interesting facts about comic books. But I never enter the contest that he points out, for better or worse. So what I won from Stango Tigerfists, I'm not sure what to call him, Tigerfist Comics, I guess, included this little drawing, nice, and then a comic that I am extremely glad to receive. I should take it out of here. It is a prime Neil Adams Batman featuring the Man-Bat. And I love these. I think these are amongst my favorite Neil Adams Batmans. Maybe partially because I think at least one of the issues in this series was featured in that hardback Batman book from the 30s to the 70s, which probably came out in the early 70s, so it had almost no 70s comics, but it had some Neil Adams in it, and so that blew my mind and solidified me as a Batman fan. And this is in Mylar. It looks like a very nice copy. I think he said it was just a reader's copy, so maybe there's some flaw with it, but it's definitely better than looks in better condition than most of my Neil Adams Batmans, because I've always been chintzy and not wanting to pay money for the good quality. Oh, it says staple pull and minor color touch. So he has it written as a 4.0 VG. So I think he has a lot of skill as a grader, something I don't. I don't know if I'd recognize a color touch. I should have watched all of those ETA Nicks grading tutorials, but I watched very few of them. I just can't get excited about grading, much to my detriment, no doubt. Okay, and then while I'm at it, while I've got the camera rolling, I thought I'd do one last look at some of the other comics I got from the Bruce boxes, from the boxes from mailed to me by my friend from high school on the occasion of his big move. So this will be the last of them that I show, I think. I showed some when I was a guest on Bullseye Bob's channel, a bunch of Daredevils, and I've done a big Spider-Man haul, one also from those boxes. So these are only slightly in order. Let's see. I'll go backwards maybe. So amongst, got quite a bit of beat up but lovable, very, very yellowed Tales of Suspense from the Silver Age, featuring Iron Man and Captain America. This is number 95. I learned a lot from showing comics on other videos. So the final Tales of Suspense was number 99, which is one that I also got but showed in another video. There's 91. I like the Cap covers better than the Iron Man covers. I love that cover. Of course, it's got Sergeant Fury at the barbershop, so that's cool. And that was number 92. Here's number 79 with Namor and Iron Man. I think I remember as a kid reading a reprint of Namor and Iron Man fighting in this big battle, and half of the time it was drawn by Gene Colan, half of the time by Jack Kirby, and it was incredibly jarring going back and forth between the two, even though they're both great artists. Here's number 78. Ooh, Cap and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., together at last. Is this their first time teaming up? They certainly teamed up a lot over the years. Featuring the macabre menace of them. So those were some of the Tales of Suspense that I got from the Bruce boxes. And then here, these are a lot of fun Marvel Collector's Items Classics. Number 18. I assume this is going to have a Fantastic Four reprint, and then maybe some Iron Man and Captain America, it looks like, and a Doctor Strange. So it was kind of, oh, and there you can see up there in the what do they call these price box things? The different characters. You got the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange showing up there. So these were like back when there was no other way. These were little history lessons in what had come before, some of the great moments of the early Marvel age. Here it is in number 19. I'm not sure when these were for sale. I'm assuming the late 60s, maybe the early 70s, but probably the late 60s, I'm pretty sure. And number 20, which includes the X-Men. So, yeah. Oh, wait, and 21. It started on Yancey Street. This is a great cover, even though whoever inked it did not do a good job on the thing. But I love the way the Watcher looks on that cover. Famous FF cover. So we got FF, Iron Man, and more. A titanic collection of timeless tales. Okay, now here were 4 comics that may have come out of my old collection and ended up in Bruce's collection, or perhaps he bought these also. Or perhaps I rebought them 91 in when we were living together on the East Coast as roommates. So here is the original Wolverine #1. They're very expensive now, I think. So I would have liked to buy it again recently but I chose to just get the hardback reprint. So I'm very excited now to own these physically, or in the floppies, the original floppies, #2. It struck me that these were unusual covers for the time, maybe in a bad way, in a sense, now that I look back on it. They're poster type covers that could be on any issue of Wolverine. They don't tell you about the story in this issue. I mean, they certainly create a mood, and they are by the artists who do the interiors, so that's better now than these posters that are by an artist who has nothing to do with the interiors, and the cover shows you nothing about the interiors. So they do capture a mood nicely. They are great covers, in my opinion, but I'm not a big fan of the trend of what I call poster-like covers. So that's those 4. And then maybe going along with the Tales of Suspense is a few issues of Iron Man's solo book, which I think a bunch of solo books came about when suddenly Marvel was allowed to distribute more than 8 comics a month by their distributor that was owned by DC Comics. But anyway, here's Iron Man #34, Iron Man #41. Who is this villain? The Slasher? In my memory of Iron Man back in the 70s, he was always losing. He was called Invincible Iron Man, but he was always on the edge of desperation. He was not very invincible at all. And here is probably the only 25-cent double 34-page issue of Iron Man, I assume. And this is nice because I want to collect all of these Marvel 25 centers in that period between the 15 center and the 20 centers, just because that's the very month that I started collecting comics, when I bought my first issue of the Avengers. So yeah, there's Iron Man 43, which is part of that. I wonder if the month these came out, these longer sized issues, was the first month of the picture window. I suspect so, because August of 71 would have been the 10-year anniversary of the release of the Fantastic Four #1. Then I've got some, last but not least, by a long shot, Captain America and the Falcon. I get a warm feeling inside when I see these Captain America and the Falcon covers, just because I loved Captain America and the Falcon so much as a 10 and 11-year-old. But these issues came out just a little bit before I started collecting as a kid, so they always seemed out of reach and magical when they were drawn by John Romita or Gene Colan. This must probably a John Romita issue, and this also. So that was number 138. This is 139. And does he make the fateful choice and give up being a cop or become Captain America? I think he continued as both, to tell you the truth. Oh, and here's that 25-cent issue, number 43, for Captain America, in that pocket of the very first month I started buying comics. And continuing the picture window afterwards in 148 with the Red Skull. I think I bought this issue several times. Maybe this was originally my copy that I bought back in 1990 with when Bruce and I were running around to comic book shops all of a sudden. The Fifth Sleeper. And wrong order. So this should have come before that. Probably Sal Buscema inside now at this point. So number 147, Fighting Hydra, unmasking who is under the mask of the Supreme Hydra. Did it turn out to be one of those cops? I can't remember now. I think one of those cops ended up being the leader of some other fascist or criminal group later on. So that's that haul. For now, the end of the Bruce boxes. I'm kind of sad about that in terms of discovering new comics in there. But Bruce may send me some more boxes. They may have more stuff. So until next time, make mine Stango Tigerfists, and I'll talk to you soon.